Let us look at the figure of speech, metaphor. What is a metaphor? A metaphor is a word, phrase, or image which compares two different objects in one point of similarity. All the rest may be at variance with each other. This comparison is implicit, as contrasted with a simile where the comparison is explicit and is fully transferred to the object of comparison. The main difference between a simile and metaphor is that a simile uses the words like or as to draw a comparison, and a metaphor simply states the comparison without using the words like or as. Let us take an example. An example of a simile is she is as innocent as an angel. An example of a metaphor is she is an angel. Do you see the difference? The simile makes a direct comparison. The metaphor's comparison is implied but not stated. Let us look at some of the definitions available online. LiteraryTerms.net defines the metaphor as a common figure of speech that makes a comparison by directly relating one thing to another unrelated thing. Unlike similes, metaphors do not use words such as like or as to make comparisons. The writer or speaker relates the two unrelated things that are not actually the same, and the audience understands that it is a comparison, not a literal equation. The word comes from a Latin phrase meaning to carry across, and a metaphor does just that. It carries a shared quality or characteristic across two distinct things. LiteraryDevices.net defines the metaphor as a figure of speech that makes a comparison between two unlike things. As a literary device, metaphor creates implicit comparisons without the express use of like or as. Metaphor is a means of asserting that two things are identical in comparison rather than just similar. This is useful in literature for using specific images or concepts to state abstract truths. Why do we use metaphors? Writers use metaphors to add color and emphasis to what they are trying to express. For instance, if you say someone has a sea of knowledge, you are using a metaphor to express how smart or educated or how knowledgeable they are. Knowledge and the sea are not literally related, but they are figuratively related because they are both immense things that are difficult to measure. By putting them together, you can accentuate how vast a person's knowledge is, how deep a person's knowledge is. A lot of common expressions are metaphors, and this includes phrases like heart of gold, or calling someone a rat, snake, pig, or shark. These figurative expressions are so widespread that we rarely stop to think about them. But unless you literally think that someone has gills and fins, you are using a metaphor when you call that person a shark. All the world's a stage. Organizations are ecosystems. The self is a blank slate. Metaphors like these are illuminating, helping us to see things in a different way. They provide new insight and can even change the way we think. Metaphors are more than devices. They are central to how we understand the world. They don't belong solely to language, but help us to reason and understand what's around us. In the influential book Metaphors We Live By, George Lakoff and Mark Johnson observe how metaphors are so seeped into the collective consciousness that we use them every day. Without even thinking about it, we talk about how time is money, affection is warm, hate is cold. There's an interesting article on this blog. Do go and read more on marvelapp.com, why metaphors matter. Let us look at some of the uh, interesting metaphors and their meanings as well. The wind screamed in his face while he was riding the bike. The wind here is compared with a scream to emphasize on how furiously it blew. Next example, go for a walk or you will become a couch potato. Meaning, here the person is told that he or she will turn fat and bulgy like a potato if they avoid exercising or if they sit at a place for a long time without being physically active. Let us take a look at another example. Her heart of stone was the result of the previous unfortunate events in her life. Meaning, in this sentence, the heart is symbolized by a stone, emphasizing on the lack of empathy she developed. Her mom warned her about the monsters in the world. Meaning, the denotation of the bad, wicked people is made by monsters. He was a diamond among the sea of glass. Meaning, the man, diamond, is said to be unique like a diamond among other ordinary men. Sea of glass. You are sitting on a winning lottery. Means, the term winning lottery is used to emphasize on a golden opportunity. He was a cheetah in the race. Meaning, the runner's speed is being attributed to the speed of a cheetah. The professor was a guiding light for him. That is, the professor is compared with light so as to help him pave his way easily. Life is a maze. That is, life is being said to have its own navigation as you move ahead with surprises at every turn. There's a rat among us. That is, rats are said to be sneaky animals and are associated with betrayal. Next, her heart sank on hearing the terrible news. The sinking of the heart is termed to emphasize on deep sorrow. Laughter is the best medicine. Laughter is compared with medicine so as to help you heal or recover from an event. India's culture is a salad bowl. Now, salad bowl is a common cultural idea to reflect India's multiple cultures, yet having their own individual identities. His heart was made of gold. Here, gold is used to indicate abundance and generosity. She was drowning in grief. Drowning is used to emphasize the amount of sorrow or problems in a person's life. The mind is an ocean. The mind is attributed to its endless capacity and also to characterize calmness. You are a firework. The word firework is used to characterize ample potential and to make the best out of your talents. She's a walking dictionary, meaning walking dictionary implies knowledge or facts known to the person. So these are some of the interesting metaphors, and go on, read more about such metaphors and their meanings on the source provided. Why are metaphors important? Like other forms of comparison, metaphors add powerful detail to your writing. By bringing in sensory details in the form of metaphors, you can make your words more interesting and real, and help the readers imagine and even feel a scene or character. A good metaphor also exercises the reader's imagination. It helps him to see familiar concepts in a new way, or helps explain an otherwise vague topic. A good metaphor is a valuable tool for a writer and one of the many literary devices that can evoke powerful images and connections in a reader's mind. There are many different types of metaphors, including mixed metaphor and implied metaphors. And learning to use metaphors effectively can elevate your writing.